Right. Okay. Now, when it comes to the amount of clutches you do each year, is that increasing every year? Or are you pretty much at a point where you're like, all right, I know where I'm at and I kind of want to chill, or what do you do with your production each year?
Push hard. I try and beat every year my clutches. So last year I had 59.
Nice.
I'm going for like 70, 80. Because I mean,
Fuck.
I got a ton of females here. A ton of females.
Do you have enough males?
Yeah, I got 54, 55 breeder males
Okay.
to about breeder females. There's about 400 breeder females.
Okay. Nice. In the beginning, were you more focused? Like, did you have that right idea that, all right, I need to build my female army before I worry about males? Or were you just kind of just getting whatever the fuck you can get?
I was a Craigslist whore.
Dude, me too in the beginning before I knew better, you know, and hey, not to knock it, you know, sometimes you could get some heat on Craigslist for
Dude, I was
real.
driving from LA to the Bay for spiders and bumblebees and shit like that. I was picking up anything I could, you know, and then I was picking up more males, and then I don't know, just a little bit of everything. And then someone got a hold of me and like, you know what, you need to focus on get hitter males. You know what I mean? Focus on some heat for males. Female doesn't, you know what I mean? You single gene, 2 genes, whatever. But you can, that's the time you can spread the love with males. You know what I mean? You got one badass male, you can put that 4 or 5 females and make some cool shit. If you got one badass female, you got to hope that she takes. And then, you know what I mean? Then, you know, got to hope that the clutch is good if she does take, you know, and then that once a year. So my males are pretty high end stuff, you know, like 3, 4, 5 gene males.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. What was I going to say? I'm noticing that. Well, let me ask you this: when you see a male lock a female, right? Do you immediately, like, once you see that lock is unlocked, do you immediately remove them, or do you just let them chill there for a bit? Like, what do you typically do after you see a lock?
Well, I let them lock, and then once they're done locking, then I'll take them out, and then he won't go back in for another month.
So one lock a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, I have my ultrasound machine, so I got to see where their follicles are at. So if they get it, then, you know, it usually only takes like 2, 3 locks. If I'm ultrasounding right, I got everything labeled, and I'm measuring everything, and I put my male in. Usually I have about 2, maybe 3 locks, and then that's it.
Got it. Because I've always had the habit of pairing every 2 weeks, even if there's a lock. I just feel like you have to pair. And this is just kind of like how I was bred in the beginning. You know, like I've only been doing this for like 3 years. So, but I was told you always want to pair every 2 weeks. But I feel like sometimes you're overworking the male like that, right? So you don't really need to do all that shit based off what you're saying, right?
My males breed every 2 weeks, but that's because there's so many females. So the females once a month, but the males every 2 weeks. And I'm always cycling through. So one rack will do one female, one set of females, and then they'll go mount, and then the following week another male. The other males will go in. So I'm always back and forth.
So a female could get locked, but then nothing could happen, though. Obviously, too, right? Like there's stuff like, because I feel like that happened to me with a handful of females last year, where even they went off food, but then nothing happened.
Yeah, they reabsorb sometimes.
Right. Now, does that mean typically that's going to affect them next year, or does that mean, or no? Like, does that, when they reabsorb like that, does that typically fuck up their season the following year, or no?
For me, it hasn't. Okay. They go the next year, and then I just keep going at it again.
Because I also try to figure out too, right? So, like, if you have a female Jimmy who laid for you in May last year, and you're noticing she's still getting locked and she's still eating, what would you say to that? Like, what would you just keep going, like keep pairing, or
I just keep pairing.
Got it. Right. Okay, cool.
It's gonna take sooner or later.
Yeah, okay, cool. Because I've also had like other advice on this podcast where people would be like, "No, you know what? It doesn't. If she still eat, okay. If she's at the point where she's at the point of last year, but she's still eating and nothing's happened, she's not going to go for you." I've had that told to me before, but then I've had that snake lay like 4 or 5 months down the road. You know,
it's you know, you can't predict one snake. They're not all the same, you know. So some do, some don't. I just keep pairing until they do. I keep pairing until they don't show any interest. Like if they don't show no interest, then I'll wait a few months,
right,
put them back in, you know.
but if they're locking and rocking, just keep fucking doing it.
Yeah,
right. Even if they're still eating and everything else, just fucking keep pairing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sick. All right, cool. Now let me ask you this, Jimmy. A first year female for you, okay? How do those work for you? Like, do you just wait at a certain, like, do you go by age, or is it all about the weight more important than the age? I mean,
it's both really. A year and a half, 2 years, but I don't breed anything under 1,800 grams. I like them big girls. I like them thick.
yeah, no, and I hear the thicker, the more healthier the clutches are, right? You know,
Yeah.
as far as, right, for the most part.
Hey, man, it's a lot of stress on them when they lay the clutch. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Away. So if you get a girl like 1,500 grams and she drops a good size clutch, you notice when you take her out, she's like really, really like weak. She lost all the muscle tone. She just, they have to me, from my experience, they've had a harder time bouncing back. But when you get them big girls, 2,000 grams, 2,500 grams, 4,000 grams, when they drop a clutch, it's like you can't really tell, and they're right back at it, eating the following week and putting all their weight back on. So for me, the smaller the girl, in my experience, it's just they struggle a little bit more. It's really stressful for them with them eggs, but the big girls, no problem at all.
Right. Now, have you noticed that with some females, not all of them turn off food as long as others before they ovulate? Like, because there's certain snakes that go off food. Like I've had one that went off food for 2 months and then something happened. Then I had one that went off food for like 2 weeks or a week, and then boom, something happened. So do you see that a lot yourself, where it's like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
they just all different. You just gotta. I mean, I work my room by myself, so I'm constantly in here, constantly checking stuff, and yeah, it just varies a lot,
Right. Now, when it came to the beginning stages, Jimmy, of you hatching out clutches and whatnot, did you have a hard time selling your animals? Or because let's think about it. You were doing this before the social media platforms, the way they were now, right? Like, so you kind of went back to the blogging days, like where you post shit on, right?
Yeah. For me, I just got my name out there first. I was just posting up animals that I had and just trying to be relevant, because as soon as you stop really being out there, you get forgotten about. So I just, going to shows, posting up stuff, this and that. I didn't really start selling stuff until I started doing shows. Really, I was too nervous to do the shipping part. That scared me.
I don't like shipping at all. It always scares the shit out of me. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I hear too many stories.
I mean, it stresses you out when you ship and it's like, okay, well, it's here, there, and I'm like, oh my god, their system is never on point, never updated.
And it seems like it's like, oh well, tough shit. When something goes wrong and a package is gone, it's like, fuck. Like, oh, a live animal? That sucks. Like, that's it. And it's like, God, go fuck yourself. Like, they don't even give a shit. And it's like,
yeah, I get mad at them. I'm like, you guys need to stop hiring people from Craigslist or some shit. You guys need to find some better workers. You guys are just shit.
Yeah. And it sucks, especially nowadays, because nobody wants to fucking work. Everyone's getting their goddamn unemployment. So, like, employees are shit right now, bro. Everywhere, employees are shit. I'm getting bad service in so many spots that I normally would never get bad service from. And it's like, well, no wonder they're hurting for people to, to work for them, probably.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. Now, during like COVID and stuff like that, I obviously I've talked to a lot of people saying that they did really great, with their snake sales. But how did you do last year selling snakes? Did everything go right off the shelf for you as well?
Yeah, amazingly, everything just started going. I didn't really. I hurt for a little bit, but not much. So, but my sales were good. I was running out of snakes, faster than they were hatching.
Right.
They're going pretty good.
And you said you had what, 58 last year clutches?
59, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, I had snake that had the little shoebox tub on top of all my racks. It was just crazy. I'm like, damn. You know, all I sold was locally. I didn't really sell. Like, on my page, I really don't sell a whole lot. I do it all locally here, and yeah, I've been fortunate enough that sales been good here in Fresno, and I'm okay with it.
So you're located in Fresno, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your affiliation with Freedom Breeder? Because obviously you're homies with Jesse. I see you like in his videos and stuff like that, and when Cusco goes over. But like, what kind of tell us what your actual affiliation is with Freedom Breeder?
So I'm the one that runs all the shipping, and then I also take care of all the adult snakes upstairs and do all the breeding part up there as well. But yeah, I'm doing stuff. I'm like customer service too.
Don't fucking piss this guy off.
So we get people, and I'm like, so I got to deal with it. It's not too bad because I mean, for me, it helps me work on my people skills because I don't have them. But yeah, that's all I do there. I just run